Hello, algebra students. Welcome to 3.4.2 guided notes in solving two-step and multi-step inequalities. We're going to just go through a couple examples quick, just a couple review ones that we should have worked on last time. That should be pretty similar. And then we're going to talk about a word problem that you're going to be having to use today as well in your practice problems. So let's get started on this. Make sure you put your name at the top of your packet. At least that way it's on one page or another. It's always better to have it on both pages rather than just a single page. Let's start by rewriting our problem over here so we can use it and work in a little bit larger space. I'm gonna get rid of this 13 right off the bat. Moving it over to another side. These cancel. Left with negative 2x is greater than or equal to 21. Take away 13, I know gives me 8. I have negative 2 times x, so I need to undo with division. Undo with division. I'm dividing by a negative, so that means I need to flip this sign. Those cancel. I'm left with x. I flip my sign. I have a negative or a positive divided by a negative, so I know I'm going to get a negative answer. I know 8 divided by 2 gives me 4, and it's going to be a negative 4 since I already figured that out. Go ahead and graph this problem. I have negative 4. Remember, when we have one that's smaller than a negative number, it's going to be a larger number because it's getting farther away from 0. So farther away from 0 is going to be a larger distance. So it's negative 5. Closer to 0 is going to be smaller, so it's going to be negative 3. So again, larger, smaller, our number in the middle. We're going to have a filled in point. Our x is smaller or is less than or equal to negative 4. Less than, we're going to the left. If we go on down to our next problem, should be pretty quick as well. Sometimes problems are going to look like this, where you kind of have to just make sure that we're simplifying this first before we do anything else. Don't try moving anything to any side. Notice that these don't have any variables on there. The variables on one side right here. We just need to simplify those. So I have negative 11 plus 2. I'm getting closer to 0, so it's going to be negative 9. I bring down the rest of it. I have 3 times p. The opposite of multiplication is division. I don't need to flip my sign because I'm dividing by a positive number. I have negative 9 divided by 3. I have a negative divided by a positive, so I know it's going to be a negative answer. I know it's going to be 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. So it's going to be negative 3 in this situation. Go ahead and graph this. Negative 3 in the middle, negative 2 to my right, and negative 4 to go down. I have an open circle, and p is greater than negative 3. There we go. We flip our packet here. You'll see this word problem. This can be a little bit intimidating right off the bat. I know that we're already working with inequalities, which aren't always the easiest things to deal with, but this problem is fairly simple and fairly straightforward, and this is going to correlate directly with your problem number. Let me just double check which one it is I'm speaking here. It's going to be just like number 4 in your practice for today. So again, this is just like 4. This is like number 4. Okay. So to win the blue ribbon for the heaviest melon crop in the county fair, the average weight of Allison's 3 melons must be greater than 37 pounds. 2 of her melons weigh 31 pounds. So she has a third melon. We're not sure how much that weighs yet, or what it needs to weigh. What is the least number of pounds the third melon could weigh in order for Allison to win the blue ribbon? So it needs to be an average. So it's going to be an average of 3 melons. We have to have all the melons' weight added up. So I know I have to add 31 plus the other melon of 31 plus the x. Now, if I'm finding the average of those, I have to divide by the number of them. There's 1, 2, 3, so I need to divide by 3. Now, this average here has to be greater than 37. It's giving us this bit of information saying it's greater than 37. So let's write it as greater than 37. Now I have inequality equation that I can solve pretty easily. by just getting rid of a couple things right off the bat. Let's get rid of this 3 here. So I'm going to multiply by 3. Since it's division, I have to do the opposite, which is multiplication. These cancel out. I'm left with the top of 31 plus x is greater than, I know 37 times 3, 3 times 1, or 3 times 7 is 21, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 2 is 11. So I end up with 111. I'm going to simplify these two right now by just combining the like terms. 30 plus 30 I know is 60, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 60 is 62. Plus x is greater than 111. Now the last thing I need to do is just get rid of the 62 so I can isolate that variable. So let's do that right now. Get rid of 62, get rid of 62. I'm left with x. I can't do 2, so it needs to be 11. So 11 take away 2 is 9. I have to get rid of this 1 here to ungroup it to become 10. 10 take away 6 is 4. So x has to be greater than 49 pounds. So what's 1 greater than 49? It has to be 50 pounds. And we can see this, that if we graph this problem, that we have our 49 in the middle, we have 50, we have 48. It does not include 49, so anything bigger than 49 is an okay melon that it's gonna win Alice in that contest. So again, this is just like problem number 4 in your practice problems for today. You only have 4 practice problems today. You have 3 pretty basic ones, just 2-step algebraic or 2-step inequality equations. And then you have one that's just like, and I mean just like the other problem, okay? Just make sure that you're looking for these keywords, like at least 80. Hint, hint, that's your keyword that you should probably key in on for this problem, okay? If you're struggling with this or you have any questions, make sure to rejoin the Google Meets during our live session. If it's outside of class hours, make sure to send me an email. I'll respond to you as quickly as possible. Make sure that when you're finished with this today, that it goes back in your red folder in order for you to receive credit for your work. Make sure your name's on it as well at that point. Thanks, guys.